Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything from hair to fashion to skincare products. We'll talk about the latest trends in makeup, hairstyles, and anti-aging remedies. And we'll cover all of the newest fashion trends. If you have an interest in or questions about the beauty and fashion trends that might work best for you, the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast has got you covered.
Hello, and welcome to the GSMC Beauty Tips Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Colleen, and let's just get into some beauty stuffs. So, I thought that I would do some favorites for you guys. I would do some beauty favorites of mine, give you guys some insight into what my favorite things are for makeup and for fashion and maybe even for hair, that kind of thing. I thought you guys would be interested to hear this because maybe, they're your favorite products, or maybe they're products you never heard of and you might want to give a try. So let's start with makeup. I'm going to start with makeup, and we'll start from the face, like your primer and whatnot, and then move onwards. So let's start with primer, like I said. So I was never really a fan of primer because I am so dry, like Sahara Desert dry. And I always thought that primers were kind of more towards the oilier girls and guys and people and whatnot, because there's mostly like silicone and, pore filling and whatnot. So I was not a primer fan, and I just used moisturizer, but then I stumbled upon the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is my favorite. I love this. I feel like I see a difference and a longevity difference in my foundation and whatnot when I use this, and it gives such a good glow to the skin that sometimes I just wear the Hydro Grip Primer. I only have a small little bottle. I bought the sample size because I thought it would, or like the smaller size, their travel size or whatever, because I thought I wasn't sure that I would like it, so I did that, and now I'm about to go out and buy a full bottle. Full size. I'm about it. I love it. It's supposed to be good for oily skin too, but I haven't tried it on anybody with oily skin as of yet, or heard anybody say how they felt about it that way. So, if you try it, let me know. That's the primer. That's the primer. Let's move on to foundation. Now, once again, dry skin. I always feel like foundations are a little too much. I'm not big into full coverage, like I said before. You can use full coverage, but build up. And I'm always about building up. And I found that the Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint is my absolute favorite. Besides the fact that it makes my skin look super healthy and hydrated, it's like a light to medium coverage. It's also like a perfect skin match for me. I don't know how this happened, but it is like the perfect skin color for me. But it also is a lighter coverage, so you can kind of get away with it if it's a little different from your skin tone. It'll look a lot more like your skin tone because it is a lighter coverage. It is buildable, not super like buildable to full coverage. It's not going to build to full coverage, but it is definitely buildable. And let's move on. So I have still not found a concealer that I'm 100% for. I do like the Milk Makeup concealer, not their Flex one, because I think that's new. I haven't tried that one, but I was thinking about it, but I used their other concealer, and I like it, but it's not my favorite. It still looks a little too drying for me. It looks great on a lot of people, but it's not... I like it, but it's not my favorite. I'm still on the hunt for a concealer, so we will move on to highlight. So highlight, I love a highlight that looks wet and not so sparkly. So I really like a MAC highlight, which is their Pearl Cream color base, or it's their cream color base in the color Pearl. It is so pretty. It just gives you that nice wet look, and you can really build it up to look really shiny. I think all these products that I'm going to talk about, almost all these products makeup-wise that I'm going to talk about on my wedding day. I did do my own makeup for my wedding day, and I wore this on my wedding day, and it looks stunning in photos, and I am so for it. I am still looking for a good powder highlight that I like the most. I used to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder highlights, but I always felt like they kind of clinged a little bit too much to my face for my liking. So now that I've talked about highlight, let's talk contour. So for contour, I use it's a Mary Kay contour that my mother-in-law had gifted me for Christmas last year, and I like it, but it's still not 100% my favorite. I just love the color. The color's right. I don't think it's got an actual name to it, and I've depotted it, like it's in its own pan in a separate, like, special magnetic palette. So I can't really attest to that, so I don't want to add that as a favorite, because I don't want you to be like, oh, I want to try it, and then you can't go and find it. So we'll move on from contour and we'll go to highlight. Or no, we just did highlight. Let's go to blush. So I am not a big blush person. I'm just not, because my skin naturally is a little red underneath and I'm pretty fair. So when it comes to blush for me, I look like I got a sunburn. But my favorite blush palette, which I'm surprised I even am saying that I have one, is the Likely Makeup Clown Blush Palette. Now I think I've talked about this before in another episode, and it is so good. It's got a red in it, like it's more of a reddy purple, but it's got a red in it, it's got an orange, it's got a yellow, and it has a pink. Now I mixed the orange with the pink a little bit, and I really like that color, and I also like to use them on my eyes, I'm not gonna lie. Like that's what I do. I use them a lot when I did makeup for a haunted house. I used that blush palette a lot for my girls that were being dolls and stuff like that. And I've used it on a lot of other people, and I really love the way it looks. And it's just a stunning palette. If I have to pick a blush, that's definitely 110% what I'm going to go for. But that's the basic gist of what I like for my face specifically. Remember though that I am of a drier skin type, so a lot of these things that I am saying are my favorites are definitely more for my skin, at least face-wise, at least for my base, my face a base. At least for my face base, these are the things that I like the most because I am drier, and these things make my skin look healthy and glowy and beautiful. I'm always looking for more things, and I'm hoping that when I get a whole new kind of batch of favorites, I've phased out some other ones or added a lot more favorites, that I can do another one of these and really add it in and have, be able to do another one of these so you guys can see my favorites changing, and maybe yours will too. Also, products are coming out constantly. They're 100% coming out all the time. And so favorites change. I don't want to do this often, but I want to do it probably once a year, once we've kind of done a full circle and you're like, oh, I wonder what she's into now, or she talked about this product, but she didn't say that was one of her favorites before. So that's kind of what I'm looking at doing with this. Now, these are my favorite face-based products. Also, I use a lot of Clearasil moisturizer. They have a moisturizer and their lotion. I use both of those to moisturize my face. I love them both. I've got super sensitive skin, so they work so well, and I use them on other people as well because I know that it's not going to make somebody's skin react because it is for a more sensitive skin type. Now, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk about eyes and eyebrows and all that kind of stuff, and my favorites for that.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to the GSMC Beauty Tips podcast. Now, before the break, we were talking my favorite products of this year, and we were talking specifically about my favorite face products, like my face base products, and I want to continue on the makeup side of this. And I wasn't sure whether to put this in eyes or if I wanted to put it more with face stuff, so I thought I'd put it kind of in between, and I'm talking eyebrows. Now, I do my eyebrows before I do anything else, and that's just my personal preference. I also like to do that on other people because I just feel like it's easier to kind of get a feel for the eyebrows without everything else on, and if you mess up or get a little bit of product somewhere else, I feel like it's easier just to do those first. That's just my personal opinion. So, let's talk eyebrows. So, my favorite eyebrow product in general is eyebrow gel. Now, NYX NYX makes a really good one. I've talked about this before, but let's talk about my favorite, which is the Kush Tinted Brow Gel from Milk Makeup. Now, I love this. It comes in a bunch more colors than it did when I originally bought this, but I love this so much. I feel like it really helps and just really nice, and I love it. That's about it. It's a really good, the color I think that I use is Dutch, and it's just a really good match for my eyebrow color without being too warm because don't really have a warmer colored eyebrow. But I think that their product is great and it really lasts, and I really don't have to do anything else if I don't want to. Sometimes I just do the Kush brow and nothing else, like at all on my face, and it's my favorite thing. Now, if I'm going all out on my brows, there are some other products that I use along with this. And I'll start by using the Anastasia Brow Powder. Now, I have one of the little brow powder kits, and I really like it, and I like it so that I can kind of fill in some sparse areas with the powder before I go in with the brow gel. And I don't know, I just prefer it that way. I don't do this all the time. It's just, if I'm doing a full put together look or something like that, then I will do it. And on top of all of that, I add one more product. I know it's a lot of products for your eyebrows. You don't have to use this many products for your eyebrows, so just letting you know. But I will also use a clear brow gel. Now, I use the e.l.f. clear brow gel. It comes in a package that's got two ends, which is I think it's a eyelash primer, and the other end is a brow gel. And I really like the brow gel in it, and it's like $2. Like $2 at Target. I think you can get it at Ulta. I'm not sure if you can get them at Walmart. I'm not sure if e.l.f.'s in Walmart. But anywhere that sells e.l.f., their brow gel is really good. A lot of their products are really good. Now, like I was saying, I do my brows, if I'm doing a full brow, in kind of an order. So I will first start out with the powder to fill in the sparse areas. Then I take a spoolie, brush that out, and then I will go over that with the brow gel, the tinted brow gel from Milk, and I will then use a spoolie again, and then go over it one more time with the clear brow gel and do it again. And that just makes sure that my eyebrows last, and those are the products that I like the most, and I would definitely recommend. Now, Anastasia brow powder is pretty expensive. It was a gift that I had received, but they are really good brow powders, and I've used an e.l.f. brow powder in the past before, and I really like that one as well. But these are the products that I use. These are the products that I like the most, and I recommend you try them if you just if you get a chance. Now let's move away from the eyebrows and go down a little bit to the eyes. Now let's talk eyeshadow. Now eyeshadow is a personal preference, but these are ones that I've been using a lot and that I like a lot. Now I talked about the Likely Makeup Clown Blush palette, and I do use those for eyeshadows quite often. I like those a lot, but let's go into actual eyeshadows. Now, MAC eyeshadows. I went in before I got married when I was trying to figure out the perfect look that I wanted to do for myself for my wedding, and I picked out a bunch of individual brown eyeshadows, and it was really easy for me to customize my own little palette to decide what I wanted exactly. And those are great because they're so, I don't know, they perform so well. They just perform so well, and you know you're getting high quality no matter what when it comes to those, at least the single shadows. So I would say MAC single shadows are so good. And then recently, which has just quickly become my favorite, is Jeffree Star's eyeshadows. His eyeshadows are an incredible texture, and like they blend like nothing. If you're getting into makeup just like recently, I guess, if you're new to makeup and you want something that is going to just be the easiest to blend so quick, and you're like, wait, I didn't even do anything, Jeffree Star. They are amazing. Now, I've been using the Mini Jawbreaker palette. I got it in a Halloween subscription box. I thought, well, I don't have anything from him, and it was pretty cheap, so I decided to do this subscription box, and I got it, and I am obsessed. It is just so good. There's something about the formula that is so good, and I definitely want to branch out into more of his eyeshadow products and just products in general, because it's almost on another level. That's how good it is. Now, let's move into, it's a quite controversial palette, or it was when it first came out, but it is one of my favorites that I use all the time for everything. And that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. Now, people hated this thing. They said it was super powdery and it didn't blend, but I beg to differ. I bought it because the colors were great. I heard all the bad things, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And I did. And I do not regret it. The formula is amazing. Yeah, it's a little powdery and whatnot, but I kind of prefer that. That's just the makeup artist in me. There's something about it that I prefer instead of a real hard eyeshadow. It's just something I love personally, and I really love the formula. Anastasia Beverly Hills, their formula for eyeshadow is also just fantastic and a really good investment, because these, so all of these ones that I've talked about so far, they're not on the cheaper side. NYX palettes are very good as well. You can try those. Some of the e.l.f. ones are pretty good. Sometimes they're a little hit or miss. Wet n Wild, super good, super cheap. Those are really good and cheap. But the ones that I have been using are definitely a little more on the pricey side, and I did spend my money to use them, so I want to get my money's worth. I'm going to use them, and I'm so not disappointed that I did take the time and spend the money on these specific products instead of trying to kind of like penny pinch. And I really, really think it was one of the best ideas that I made. And if you're really looking for something, even if it's a little more pricey, just think that you will probably use these a lot more than just once. Now, for the last eyeshadow thing that I have, it's a liquid eyeshadow. Now, I was looking for a good sparkle for my wedding day, and I was like, I wanted a liquid shadow, and I went searching, and everything was just too pink. It was too pink or too copper, and I couldn't find that perfect champagne-y sparkle that I was looking for. And then I stumbled upon it, and I want to share this with you because it is a stunning color, and everybody should use it for everything. And it is MAC's Dazzle Shadow, which is a liquid shadow in the color Every Day is Sunshine. You need to try this. It is just the perfect sparkle color, and you can make it as metallic, bright, sparkly as you want, but you can also really tone it down to get a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of sparkle, and it is probably the best liquid that I've used in the perfect color. And I want to share it with you guys because it's just, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Okay. I'm going to take another quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to share with you a few more of my makeup products before we get into more fashion things and hair things.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Beauty Tips podcast. Now, before the break, we were talking about my favorite makeup products, and specifically for the eyes. Now, I want to stay a little bit more on the eyes, but I'll also go to lips in this bit. So let's move on to eyeliner. I love a good eyeliner. Love a good cat wing. Love it so much, but I always have a hard time finding a good eyeliner. Now, I found two that I really like, and I definitely want to try some different ones just to, I want to find that perfect one. Everybody wants to find that perfect one. But my favorite one is probably the Epic Ink liner. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. From NYX. It is phenomenal. It's got a brush head, and I'm all about the brush head, but in a like a felt tip pen style, like a pen with a brush head instead of a pen with a felt. And that one is so good, but I did notice that after a while, when you've had it for a little too long, it does start to bleed. Luckily, it's not super expensive, so it is something that I can buy again and again when I need it, but I do realize that after you've had it for a little too long, it will bleed. And that can be an issue if you want something that, you're just going to keep using and throw in your bag or whatever and just continue to use. So I did get a sample size of the Kat Von D liquid liner, and that's the same type of thing where it's the brush head, but in the pen style. And I really like it a lot, but I noticed that it really doesn't hold a lot of product in the brush itself, so it's good to map out your liner with it, but then to fill it in, it takes forever. But once you fill it in, it is there. It is so hard, so incredibly hard to get off. So I kind of found this sweet spot while I was trying to figure out what to do eyeliner-wise, where I would use the Kat Von D one to map out my wing, and then use the NYX one to fill it in. And I like the combination of the two, but I definitely don't think you need both. I'm out of both, and so I'm gonna pick one, and I'm probably gonna go with the NYX liquid liner because I do think it's the best bang for your buck when it comes to this kind of thing. So let's move away from eyeliner and move to mascara. Now, I've mentioned before on here that when it comes to mascara, my lash line gets itchy. And it's just every mascara I tried. I've tried MAC mascaras and regular drugstores and all sorts of mascaras. And I think I tried a Mary Kay mascara. And every mascara makes my lash line itch, and I just don't know what it is. So I found the perfect mascara for sensitive-eyed guys and gals out there, and that is the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. Now, I love this mascara. I think it looks great. It really gives me the volume because I have a lot of length and I just need volume. I just need a lot of volume and I don't have that. So it gives me the volume that I want. And it also comes in waterproof, and I was worried that the waterproof was going to be a different formula, but it's almost identical, which is great because if I haven't mentioned it before, when I got married, and when I was doing my wedding makeup, I needed something that was going to be waterproof, and I was like, man, I don't have one. And so I bought it on a whim like days before my wedding, and it worked out so well. It is so good, and it is just my tried and true at this point. I'll give you another tip. I've given this tip before, but it's the best tip that I can give anybody. And that is, if you're doing mascara, no matter what mascara it is, to do your mascara and then take a clean spoolie and run it through your eyelashes, and it'll really separate and give you either the full or the length that you're looking for. Just saying, that's one of the best. Let's move to lips. So the lip primer from MAC is my go-to. I have talked once again before about how lip balms aren't working for me. I'm having all sorts of chapstick issues. And this primer, it really moisturized my lips to go underneath whatever I'm going to use, and I really appreciate it. Plus, it like sticks anything you put onto it, like on there, and it's not going anywhere. So that's the lip primer that I just recommend. It's the MAC one. It's so good. It's so worth your money. So good. Now, for products, Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks are my favorite liquid lipsticks because they are great. They stay, and on top of the staying factor, they also don't really dry your lips out, and it's so good. Plus, they come in like a million colors, including a yellow and a white and a green. I mean, come on. I think he's got multiple greens. Like, it's ridiculous. They're just so good, and just, my favorite. But another favorite, just lipstick in general, MAC lipsticks, go-to, tried and true, always good. They're my mom's favorite. She actually introduced them to me, and they're my favorite. I wore one on my wedding day, and it lasted, and I was really surprised that it did, and it did not transfer. But they're just their regular bullet lipsticks are my favorite. Velvet Teddy's my favorite color. It's a cult classic. It just looks good on everybody. It's my favorite. And then ColourPop lipsticks. I like their lippy sticks and their bullet lipsticks along. Their liquid lipsticks I'm on the fence about. They just feel a little too drying for me, but ColourPop lips, you can't go wrong. And they're super cheap and now in Ulta. So 100% recommend those. NYX makes so many different good lipsticks. I haven't had an issue at all with them. Plus their glosses, their butter glosses are so good, so shiny, so pretty. I don't know what else to say about it. They're just on top. They're just number one. Numero uno. They're so good. Now, lip liners I don't mess with too much because I like a more feathered out look. That's just my personal opinion. I like a blurred lip line. I don't like so much a harsh lip line, but I do like the MAC ones and the NYX ones, and I think, is it Rimmel, I think, makes a really good one as well. Everywhere makes a good lip liner. Like, they're top tier. 100% top tier. So good. I really want to branch out when it comes to a lot of makeup products this year, and I'm hoping that I do, so that the next time we do one of these favorites, I can add so many more favorites and so many more good suggestions than I have this time. And I'm going to take a quick break with that, and then we'll come back and let's talk fashion. That's a whole nother thing. Let's talk some fashion up in here. What I like to wear, what I've been wearing, and maybe that you should try if you're trying to be a little adventurous or whatnot. Let's just take a quick break and then talk about that.
Do You want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do. All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back to the GSMC Beauty Tips podcast. Now, before the break, we were talking about my favorite things, but we were talking specifically about my favorite makeup products and stuff like that. Now, let's move on from makeup and go into fashion. So, I'm not a super fashionable person when it comes to my everyday look, but there are a lot of things that I really, really love that's fashion-wise and things that really kind of up my game fashion-wise, and I thought I'd share them with you. So let's start from the bottom up. Let's start from shoes. Shoes. I love to make a statement with shoes. That's just my thing. Always has been, always will be. I love to make a statement with shoes. Now, in summer and in winter, when it comes to, depending on what I'm doing, kind of, almost all the time I'm in slippers in the winter and flip-flops in the summer. I love a good flip-flop. I mean, I love a good flip-flop and a good pair of slippers. But, I do love to wear a good pair of shoes just in general. Love a good pair of shoes. I've always loved a good pair of shoes. Now, if it comes to flip-flops, I like to find cute flip-flops, not something with sparkles or anything over the top. Just a pair that are going to work with everything that I'm going to wear. And when it comes to slippers, usually a pair of moccasins are real good because they still look good if you're going out, which I did not do this year because I got a puppy and she destroyed them. So I bought another pair, just a quick, cheap pair of flip-flops, and they have no back to them, so I just don't feel right wearing them out. But anyway, to continue, let's move on to some shoes that I am obsessed with, that I love to wear, that really kind of put that extra oomph into my outfit, and that is my Doc Martens. Now, I have a pair of Doc Martens that are super old that I found at a thrift shop, actually, for $6. $6. Doc Martens. They're a little too big, and I'm a very small person, so they kind of look a little big on me, but I love them, and they kind of go with everything. But my husband got me a pair of Doc Martens that I am obsessed with, and these are studded Doc Martens. Brand new studded Doc Martens, and man, are they so cool. They're black with studs all over them, and they look so good. And I love to wear them with so much. I like to wear them especially with pants that are tighter around the ankle, so you can kind of pull it over because they are a higher pair, like the regular boot cut pair. And I love the way they look, and they really kind of bring out an extra little bit to any outfit because they're a little out there and they're a little loud. The guy at the store, when I was trying them on, he's like, "Are you sure you want these ones and not the regular ones?" He's like, "I couldn't pull those off." I was like, anybody can pull these off. Honestly, they're so good. If you're looking for a pair of shoes that are going to last you a lifetime, a literal lifetime, that are going to be tried and true, a little bit hard to wear in, that's for sure. But once worn in, the best shoe possible, get a pair of Doc Martens. I know they're expensive, I know this, but they are totally worth it because they will last you. Now, if you're worried about the price, I found that you can go looking in the kids section. Sometimes you can find your size in that same pair of shoes, but they're technically kid shoes, so they're a little cheaper. Just saying, might work for you. little bit of a hack there. Now, Doc Martens really go with everything. They kind of do. A good pair of boots goes with everything. They are a little harder in the summer because, it can get really hot. But I love a good pair of Doc Martens. They're some of my favorite shoes, and they really add so much to a look, and they're so worth the money. They're pretty expensive, but they are worth the money. So are a good pair of flip-flops and slippers. You don't have to spend a ton of money on flip-flops. I've had some pretty expensive flip-flops before, and they really didn't compare one way or the other to a cheap Walmart flip-flop. But those are the shoes. Those are the main shoes I want to talk about, just because they're so good. A good pair of, nice black Vans are good, too. Just a good shoe. Just a good shoe. I don't know what else to say about that. Let's move on to socks. I love a good sock. I also love not wearing socks at all. But if you're going to wear boots, especially, a good pair of socks is worth it. You don't have to spend a ton of money on socks, but socks seem to be getting a little bit more expensive, so maybe that is something you want to look into. Plus, a sock can really add some fun flair to your look. If you're wearing a pant that's a little shorter, or something along those lines, or a lower shoe, you can really make a statement with socks. I talked about this in, I think it was my New Year's look as well as in my holiday office party look, that you can really kind of bring together an outfit or show off or be a little creative with a fun sock. The same you can do with a fun shoe, like get a shoe in fun colors or something like that, and you can really kind of make a statement. So socks are important. They definitely are, and I lose so many. I did a load of laundry the other day, just going through laundry that had been sitting around. I live with boys, but they, so I'm doing a load, and it was literally all socks, and I'm pretty sure almost none of them match. Just saying. If you want a good pair of matching socks, just buy some black socks, because then maybe they'll match with the other pair. If you're kind of like me who doesn't care and likes two weird fun socks, then it's like a game. But yeah, I lose socks all the time. But those are basically what it comes down to when I'm talking my shoes. Is I love a good Doc Marten, I love a good slipper and a flip-flop, and fun socks are a must. I have socks that look like you put your feet in a little shark's mouth and he's got little fins on the side. So cute. Not good to wear in boots because they have fins. But they're super cute and super fun. But that's just the basic gist of my shoe region. Love a good shoe, love a good slipper, love a good flip-flop. I've said it a million times at this point. But fun shoes are always a good way to just elevate a look. And right now, my favorite is a Doc Marten, and it might be your favorite too. If so, you know what, actually, just tell me your favorite shoe. Send me a picture of your favorite shoe at the GSMC _beauty tips on Twitter, or the Beauty Tips Facebook as well. Just send me pictures of your cool shoes or socks or your favorite things in general. Just what you're into right now, makeup and fashion and hair. Just send it to me. I want to see. I want to start a conversation of our favorite things. Maybe you'll inspire somebody else to do something or try something new that's your favorite that might become their favorite. Hit us up on social media. We can have a conversation about it. It'll be so much fun. I am telling you. Once again, on Twitter, we are at GSMC _beauty tips. And we are GSMC Beauty Tips on the Facebook. And I'm on those social medias. I want to talk to you. I want to see your cool stuff. Now, before I just keep talking about flip-flops, slippers, and Doc Martens, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some pants and whatnot that I am into right now. So stay tuned for more.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Beauty Tips podcast. Now, before the break, we were talking my favorite shoes, Docs, slippers, flip-flops, all that. Now let's move up a little bit and go to pants. So, one pant that I am loving, I am a short lady, remember this, is high-waisted. High-waisted pants have been a lifesaver. They're also absolutely great if you're like picking stuff up, because then like your butt crack's not going to show, and I'm not about that life. I love a good pair of high-waisted pants, and they really work so well with so much. And I like a good pair of high-waisted pants with a skinny, like, tight ankle area, like a skinny high-waisted, I guess. I think they look great on me, and they've been a staple. I have a green pair that I'm just obsessed with right now. And they are like a number one staple in my outfits. Favorite. I'm gonna get so many more pairs at this point, but they're my favorites. I like them with the thin ankle, so once again, I can wear my Doc Martens with them, and they look so cute together. Now, let's move on to just pants in general. I feel like all pants come you're either getting low rise or high rise, and there's like no in between. So if I'm not wearing a pair of high waisted, then I am wearing just a regular pair of jeans. And my favorite thing to do, and my favorite thing I've seen on men a lot recently too, which I just love, is when they take the bottom of the pant, they roll it up a little bit. I'm looking at mine right now, and I did roll mine up. That's just because it was bothering my ankle, but it works for this. I really love a good, like, rolled up bottom part of the pant, end of pant, I don't know what you call that. But I love the way it looks, and it looks so good on men when they do that, and they're wearing, like, a cute sock and some shoes. Like, I don't know. Love it. I think it looks so good. I've been doing that a lot lately. Once again, I'm pretty short. I'm like 5 foot even. So it's kind of helpful for me anyway, because pants are pretty long on me just in general. But it's definitely top tier, one of the things I've been loving, especially, like I said, on men. They're definitely my favorite, is just to roll it up. Now let's talk about a favorite that I actually talked about in the last episode, I think. No, the episode before. When I talked about just fashion for 2019, and I was talking about flight suits, and I mentioned I love overalls. Now, I just want to talk about overalls. I love a good pair of overalls. So this is how this all started. It's like a story. Let me break it down for you. So, I did not want to wear overalls. I did not want to wear overalls at all. A friend of mine said, "Oh, you look great." And I was like, "No, not really." And then I was at the store with my sister getting a pair of pants. And my sister goes, "You have to try this on. You have to try a pair of overalls on." And I was like, "No, I'm going to look like a child." Literally, a woman who was just shopping next to us goes, "No, you'd look great in a pair of overalls," and then just like walked away. It was really funny, real weird, but I was like, fine, she's trying to talk me into a pair of overalls. This random lady is now trying to talk me into a pair of overalls. I'll try them on. I get in the dressing room, I put them on, and I am in love with overalls. Now, I love a pair of overalls now. It's just oh, it's so good. And the thing, I think, besides they're just comfortable, the only issue I have is like going to the bathroom's kind of a process. But other than that, like, it's got a giant pocket on the front. A giant pocket, which I'm so about because I love to shove things in my pockets. I talked about how I'm not a really big purse person because I keep forgetting things. So I carry around a wallet that's kind of the size of a clutch, and I can just shove that in the giant pocket in the front. That makes me look like a child, but I still love it. And I can also put so many other things. I was working on set, and I was able to like just shove things into my overall pockets while I did other things, and it's just like, it's so good. It's so good. Plus they also look good if you like undo the top bits and just let it hang with over a nice little tucked in shirt. Like, overalls, man. I did not know I would love overalls this much, but somehow, by a miracle, I do. I am obsessed, and I still want to try the flight suit thing. I think that if you think that you're going to look like a child in overalls, you should still kind of try it out. Just go try it in a dressing room. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I am about it. Overalls are my favorite. Now we've talked about pants. Let's move on from pants. Let's move into some tops. Now, some tops I've been absolutely obsessing over, just in general, to always sweaters. I love sweaters. The minute it gets cold, I'm like, ooh, sweater weather. It is sweater weather, and I get so excited. Love a good sweater. I have a sweater that I call my grandpa sweater. It's not even my sweater, it's my husband's. He got it for Christmas, I think, from one of my parents, like a few Christmases ago. And he just never wears it. I wear it. He always is like, hey, isn't that mine? I was like, yeah, but you don't wear it. It's mine now. But it looks like a grandpa sweater. And I used to have actually a bunch of legitimate grandpa sweaters. Like, I had a roommate who worked at an old folks home, and they were like donating a bunch of their old clothes, and it was a bunch of like old sweaters, and I used to wear those all the time. I also have a sweater that is orange and probably like 8 sizes too big for me, and it is my favorite. I got it from a place where all the money, like a thrift store, where all the money that you give goes to like helping cat shelters and stuff. Like, it was so cool. But a good sweater is something that is a must in my closet. Another must I'm gonna have to say is tank tops. I wear so many tank tops when it gets hot outside. And I'm talking, I have like one specific tank top type from Target in like every color it comes in. Yeah. I am a cartoon character. No, but it's just, I love a good tank top. So easy to just put on, and like, you're not too hot, not too cold. It's not over the top. It always looks kind of nice. I mean, I love a good tank top. Tank tops are just so good for hot weather. Love a good tank top. Love a good Target tank top. I don't know, just tank tops are so good. On top of that, moving on to something that goes along with my high-waisted pants is crops. Now, I feel really uncomfortable a lot of times. I have crop shirts, and I feel pretty uncomfortable wearing a crop t-shirt. I just get self-conscious. It's kind of how everybody is. I hope. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. You shouldn't be self-conscious. You're beautiful. But, like, I get pretty self-conscious. But I have a few shirts that they're not a full crop. They're a little shorter crop. Or like, not shorter, but like a little longer of a crop, not so much of a crop, and they look so good over my high-waisted pants, because they're not really showing much stomach unless I lift my hands up, or my arms up, but they're just enough, and they really add a good balance to your high-waisted pants, and it looks so good. So if you have high-waisted pants, not sure about a crop top, you should put a crop top on top of those, trust me. Also, crop sweaters on top of the high-waisted is so good. Also, crop sweaters are just super in right now and super cute. I'm about it. I just got one. And I'm so for the crop sweater. I'm so for it. They look so cute. And also a good thing you can do with a crop sweater is wear a more form-fitting shirt underneath your crop sweater. And it still looks so good and put together. And love a good crop sweater. I really think that also, you can do a crop sweater with some high-waisted jeans. Really, you can kind of do whatever you want. These are just some of the things that I've really been liking clothing-wise as of late, at least for pants, for shoes, for tops, that kind of thing. And I want to know what yours is. Like, tweet me. For real. Once again, if you didn't hear it, like, the first few times, it's at GSMC_beauty tips on Twitter. And you should show me your favorite styles, like the things that you like the most, like your clothing go-tos, just in general. Like, send me some. I want to see. I want to know. And I want to know if any of these kind of made you think, oh, I could, maybe I'll try that. I'm not super, well, I can be super adventurous when it comes to clothes, but I'm not like on another level adventurous, like everything needs to match all the time. I'm pretty chaotic, and I love a good chaotic style, and that's kind of what I go for with this, is laid back and chaotic, because I want everything to be comfortable, but at the same time I want things to be, cute. So send me your favorite outfit things and whatnot, and you know what, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some more of my favorites.
The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything travel. We explore places you've always wanted to go, as well as giving tips for traveling in those places. We'll give you advice on the best sites for travel tips, information, and discounts. Join us as we travel the world, explore cultures, and meet new people. The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast has got you covered. Download the GSMC Travel Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to the GSMC Beauty Tips podcast, and before the break we were talking about some of my favorite fashion things, and let's move on to some more favorite things of mine. Now, when it comes to hair, my favorite things are hair ties, because I love a good ponytail, but also just a good hair mask. I think Garnier does some good, like, real cheap hair masks that I love to do, and just a good hair mask in general is so good for your hair. Now, that's pretty much, I don't have a lot of favorite hair things, because I'm just forever trying to figure out my hair. Forever trying to figure out my favorite hair things. Just, that's a thing. It's always happening. So I just wanted to talk about some other favorite things that I really like this year that are somewhat beauty related. Now, I don't want to say this year, because these are just my current favorite things. Not so much like my favorite 2019 things. No, these are my current favorite fashion and beauty and whatever related things. Now, face masks. A good face mask. I love to do a face mask. They change your life, let me tell you. I really didn't do much face masks until more on the recent side. Like, I always heard about how good they are for you, and I did one here and there, and then I started really kind of doing them on, every so often, and it's handy because my husband likes to do them too, so we do them together. It's my roommate will walk in and he'll be like, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm over here looking like a wrestler, like Mick Foley or something, with my jelly face mask on. And I don't know, I love a good face mask, and it's so good if you have somebody to do it with. It's so much more fun when you have someone to do a face mask with. My friend, who no longer lives in the same state as me, miss you, me and her used to do our nails and face masks and all sorts of fun stuff. Like, I think it was every Monday night is when we would do one, and they're a fun thing to do together with a friend or a loved one or whatnot, but they're also just so good for your skin. Oh my gosh. But also be a little careful when it comes to face masks. Like, be a little careful with some ingredients, because I did try, I love under eye masks, but I did try these ones that I'd never tried before from a brand I didn't know. I just kind of was like, oh, I'll take one of those and I'll try this out. And it was not good. Like, I started feeling burning under my under eyes and I was like, what is going on? What is wrong with me? And so I went and I waited the whole time. I was like, that probably just means it's working or whatever. And so I waited the whole time. It really was burning and bothering me, and I took them off and I had bumps, like red bumps in the shape of the under eye mask for a good minute. Like, it was almost still kind of there in the morning when I woke up the next day. But yeah, so just kind of be wary when you are going face mask route, like what you're getting. Target has some really good cheap ones that I've never had an issue with. Even Walmart has a few cheap ones that I haven't had any issues with. You just gotta be kind of weary of ingredients and like what you're putting on your face. That's just kind of with everything you put on your face in general, but face masks can kind of irritate the skin. I love a good peel mask. They're not good for you. You can't do them all the time, but sometimes they're so much fun and so good. But other than that, just a face mask. Good face mask is so good. Also, let's talk about something I got like super recently, like a few days ago recently, and I am obsessed with it. So my sister gave this to me, and I'm not 100, I think it's by Holisite Apothecary, I believe, and it's like a roller with scent. And oh man, I'm gonna have to post a picture so you guys can see it because it's the coolest looking thing. It's black, like pure black in the bottle. It looks like just a black liquid, but if you move it around, you see some stuff in there. And it's just this great scent. And it says, what's in it is there's coconut oil, activated charcoal, which is the black, barberry root, black tourmaline. I'm reading it off the label right now. There's some animal bone and an arrow charm in here, some obsidian, essential oils of pennyroyal, lemon, and black pepper. And it's lovely. Yes, there are, I know for my friends who are probably freaking out about the animal bone part, there are little bits of animal bone in here. I believe that this brand gets everything like sourced correctly. It's not like they're just finding animal bones or doing something creepy like that. But I like that kind of creepy stuff. That's just me. That's my style, my kind of thing. So she picked this one because it was black and it had the animal bones in it for me, but the scent is lovely. It almost smells minty, which is funny because there's no mint in it. It is the pennyroyal, lemon, and black pepper that's in there. And it's just, oh, it's lovely. And I'm not a big scent person. So this is kind of big for me because I am usually, like, I don't wear perfume. I'm not a big fan of perfume. I'm not a big fan of, like, scented things on myself. Like, I don't mind it on other people. It's just on myself. I'm not a big fan of scented deodorants. I like to use all natural deodorants. That's another favorite. All natural deodorants. 100%. Love that kind of stuff. So I was really surprised that I loved this so much, and it's a scent that I really like. And the thing too is it's not super strong and it's not overpowering and it just smells so fresh. Kind of gives you a little bit of a boost when you smell it. Love this. I'm gonna have to take a photo and put it on the Twitter so you guys can see it because it's super cool looking. I don't know if I'll be able to get any of this picture of the stuff on the inside. I'm staring at it right now. But I'd love to share this with you guys because it is just so cool. So those have been some of my favorite things, just my favorites as of right now, beauty related. And I guess a scent can be beauty related. That's why I added in last because I wasn't really sure what to categorize that under. Now, I want to know your guys' favorite things currently, like your current favorite things. I also want to know if you guys want to see another one of these or hear another one of these in like a few months or at the end of the year or something around that time, just to see my updated favorite things and, you know, that kind of thing. I want to see your favorite things. Send me photos, tweet me photos at GSMC_beauty tips or Facebook, GSMC beauty tips. Like, let me know. I want to see. I want to know. And I also want to know if you end up like using any of these products or trying any of these products or clothing tips or whatnot, just to kind of branch out and if you like them or not. I'm just curious. I know you're probably curious. You're listening to this. You're like, maybe I'll have to go check out that weird black stuff with the animal bone in it. No, you don't have to do that. I just want to add it because it's so cool. And I'm not a big scent person. I just keep smelling it because it's so good. But on that note, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody who listens to me ramble on for an hour and just, for this one at least, listens to me tell you about my favorite things, like current favorite beauty things. I love to listen to other people tell me their current favorite beauty things, so I thought you guys would be kind of interested. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know what you want to see. I'm going to post a picture of this black scented amazingness. And I want to be social on social media with you guys. I want to talk to you guys. Let's talk about stuff. Give me ideas. Give our other hosts ideas. Everybody's great. And I want you guys to stay amazing and stay great. And I want to thank you for listening to the GSMC Beauty Tips Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. If you like just podcasts in general, the GSMC Podcast Network has so many other podcasts of different things that might, intrigue you, might, spark your fancy or whatnot. So you should go check those out. I'm also on the Weird News, the GSMC Weird News podcast. So if you like to listen to me, you can go listen to that one too. I want you all to stay lovely, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you in the next one.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network, from health and wellness to entertainment and life and happiness to sex and relationships. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast.